video, we will talk about the type of teachers made a test.
Types of teacher-made tests, true or false test, matching type test, and multiple choice test.
So what is true or false? So true or false contains statements that the student mark as being either true or false. In order to qualify as true, all parts must contain true. In general, true or false tests check your knowledge of facts and provide a way quickly test knowledge and inspire critical thinking without the effort of other question formats. So here are the guidelines of making true or false tests. Number 1. Do not give a hint in the body of the question. An example, in Australia, President Rodrigo Duterte made his famous speech in which he declared, "I came through and I shall return." Is this President Rodrigo Duterte? So in the statement, we don't give a hint, and the answer of the statement is false because we all know that General MacArthur, he issued a statement to the press. In it, he issued his promise of "I shall return" to his men and the Philippine people. So number 2, avoid using the words always, never, often, and the other words that tend to be either always true or always false. For example, Filipinos always celebrate New Year without using firecrackers or any instrument that makes sounds. Is that true or false? So in the statement, learners could understand and answer the items since Filipinos are already used in celebrating New Year every year with firecrackers as one of our traditions. In the word without concludes the answers false. So we've seen that we use always there in word. So in the guidelines, always remember that using words always, never, often are false. Number 3, avoid long sentences as this tend to be true. Keep sentence short. For rallying cry for the past 2 years, it was only fitting that he did a radio broadcast just hours after setting back in the Philippines in which he announced, "People of the Philippines, I have returned." For the next 10 months, the Allied forces worked to drive out the Japanese. By the time of the war was over, only a third of MacArthur's original soldiers were still alive. He told them, "I'm a little late, but we finally came." So the answer of given statement is actually correct, but the meaning that is being provided is too long. So always remember the guidelines, avoid long sentences. Number 4, avoid a systematic pattern for true or false statement. For example, strong, independent women always work hard. Keep their eyes to the future. Is there something in it? So in the statement, it is true, but there is something wrong, which is the spelling. The correct spelling of independent is That is the correct spelling of independent. Number 5, avoid ambiguous sentences which can be interpreted as true at the same time as false. For example, the Philippines is not part of the second largest archipelago in the world, so it's not an isolated case. Is that true or false? Duh, it is false. We all know that Philippines is also super unique because It is the second largest archipelago in the world.
Rules in constructing multiple choice test. A generalization of the true-false test. The multiple choice type of test offers the student with more than two options per item to choose from. Each item in a multiple choice test consists of two parts, the stem and the options. In the set of options, there is correct or best option, while all the others are considered distractors. The distractors are chosen in such a way that they are attractive to those who do not know the answer or are guessing but at the same time have no appeal to those who actually know the answer. It is feature of multiple choice type tests that allow the teacher to test higher order thinking skills even if the options are clearly stated. As in true-false items, there are certain rules of thumb to be followed in constructing multiple choice tests. Rule number 1. Phrase the stem for only one correct, a best answer. Do not use unfamiliar words, terms, and phrases. The ability of the item to discriminate or its level of difficulty should stem from the subject matter rather than from the wording of the question. Second rule. Avoid giving away the answer in stem. Do not use modifiers that are vague and whose meanings can differ from one person to the next, such as much, often, usually, or etc. For example, the good example is, what is the main reason so many people moved to California in 1849? A. California land was fertile, plentiful, and expensive. B. Gold was discovered in Central California. C. The East was preparing for a civil war. D. They wanted to establish religious settlements. The third rule is choose distractions appropriately. Avoid complex or awkward word arrangements. Also, avoid use of negatives in the stem as this may add unnecessary comprehension difficulties. Rule number 4. Choose distractions so that they are all equally plausible and attractive. Do not use negatives or double negatives, as such statements tend to be confusing. It is best to use simpler sentences rather than sentences that would require expertise in grammatical construction. Last, rule number 5. Phrase questions so that they will test higher under thinking skills. Each item should be as short as possible. Otherwise, you risk testing more for reading and comprehension skills.
So I am going to explain about matching type. So in what sense is a matching type test is a variant of a multiple type of test? A matching question is two adjacent lists of related words, phrases, pictures, or symbols. Each item in one list is paired with at least one item in the other list. Matching may be considered to be a variant of multiple choice in which more than one choice is correct. So we have here an example of a matching type test. So you will going to match the column A and column B. Constructing matching questions. Direction should provide a clear basis for matching. Include 4 to 10 items in each list. Include approximately 3 extra items from which responses are chosen. That is, avoid perfect matching, which allows for elimination of responses when the test taker is unsure of the correct answer. So I will go to explain next is the supply
an appropriate synonym for each of the following. Each block corresponds to a letter. So the synonym of metamorphose is change, and we have here the 6 letters, while the appropriate synonym for the second is grow with 4 letters. So notice that these questions require not only more recall of words, but also understanding of these words.
So in conclusion, these types of tests is constructed by the classroom teachers. So to assess the progress of the students based on a certain objectives and competencies. So as a future teachers, we need to make sure that we're going to assess the competencies, the topic, or the lesson that we talk about, so that our students will analyze or generalize the correct answers or solutions. But that will be our future educators. We hope or you gain something more or something good to our lesson, where you can follow creating a test questionnaire in the near future.